3 out of 11 people experience estrangement, so let's talk about it. In fact, according to Cornell's sociologist Carl Pilmer, roughly 27% of people experience family estrangement. Estrangement, when you should be so close, yet you're so far away. Months, years maybe go by with no contact. I often hear young mothers talking about how they want to do things differently. I used to feel the same way. For decades, I said the same thing. In my family, we had estrangement, generational estrangement. I was even estranged from my parents for 7 years. Then a week before I turned 50, my children estranged from me. Instead of cakes, candles, celebration, presents, my gift was silence. And in that silence, I thought about Sophocles. Who was I to be so arrogant to think that I could escape my fate? The story of Oedipus Rex illustrates how before he was even born, he was destined for a terrible fate. Even the whole town tried to change his fate, but yet his fate came to pass. Don't worry, I'm not going to talk about Oedipus Rex's fate, nor am I going to give the details of my family estrangement. But what I'd like to emphasize is the idea of fate is as relevant today as it was 429 BC. Try as much as I want. The fate of estrangement, I couldn't escape it. There it was. And yes, there were so many well-meaning people that came to me with advice, but something was wrong. Their advice wasn't good for me. Some of them wanted me to be morally superior and actually kind of cruel. And unfortunately, some were so down, one person even told me I should harm myself because that's what she would do. But once I let that vice words quiet down, I realized that in the center of the estrangement's bullseye was a virtue. That virtue was peace. And in this peace, I started to develop my own creative qualities, and I also began to take responsibility for my own fallacy thoughts. Yes, we have fallacy thoughts. And finally, I started taking responsibility of my fallacy thoughts. In this peace, I actually found 3 lampstands of light that led me through healing and self-awareness. Number 1 is time. Number 2 is practicing healthy, kind expectations. And number 3 was virtues. So for 7 years, my phone never rang from my family, my parents, or my children. Yes, I would get an occasional message or maybe a card that would tell me why we were estranged, but no resolution, no resolve ever came. But you know what? Something was wrong before estrangement. It was like the things that I really loved at one time, I'd almost become bored of. It's almost as if you hold something good in your hand and it just turns to dust. It was strange. Think of it this way. You have a wooden chair that catches on fire. That wooden chair is a perfect chair of ash for a moment. And the winds of earth come in and blow that wooden chair far away. My chair, my life, my children were blown far away. So what I'd like to do is when you think of estrangement, will you imagine a swan in a violent storm where her wings protect her children. The rain, the hail, the raging waters, they threaten the swan. But you, in the estrangement wings, are protected. So the very first light post that I think about that guides the mother swan is time. Time reveals things between us about ourselves and others that we never knew. It's past time, present time, future time, and out of time. Time is this lamppost that guides us to give us more wisdom. Just like Plato's cave in 380 BC, prisoners since childhood are chained in the cave, facing a wall. Behind them is the fire that keeps them warm and the entrance to the cave. The wall in front of them, shadows of reality, is all they know. But then time comes by and unlocks their chains. Those shadows that they thought were reality are often half-truths, or possibly lies. So time is the light lamppost that will tell you how your parents and how your children perceived their side of Plato's cave. Now, let's go to lamppost number 2, healthy, kind expectations. Number 1, expectations must be known. When I was first estranged, I went to a counselor, and she was wonderful. But she asked me, Jodi, how many times a year would you like to see your children? I had no answer. I had no known idea of what I wanted. And it was in that moment that my lack of practicing known expectations had as much to do with the unseen or seen issues I could not resolve. Also, your expectations must be healthy, to be kind. Have you ever felt there's an expectation, and if you didn't make it, your emotions were on a roller coaster? So sometimes, have you ever had an unmet expectation that you didn't make and you felt bad about it with your parents, or maybe you didn't make the expectation for your children? It started to make your inner self kind of crumble. If your expectation is unhealthy or unkind, this is how you tell. Ask yourself, will I have an opinion about myself or about the other person that diminishes their human value? If you do, you may have a very unkind, unhealthy expectation. Number 3, expectations must be possible. Can they be done? When I was 6 years old, my mother gave me $5 for pizza. Yes, today that pizza is worth $30 in the United States. So it was $5. I was holding it. When we got to the pizza parlor, I'd lost the $5. It was gone. There was no credit cards. There was no Apple Pay, no $5, no pizza. So if you think about it, did I do that on purpose and lose it, or was it just unfeasible? I was too young to hold on to the money. So your expectations must be known, they must be kind, and they must be feasible. Otherwise, while you're riding your mother swan's back, you may fall into the vice waters. Now, number 3 is Aristotle's virtues. Aristotle's virtue shows us when a virtue will turn into a vice. For example, courage. Courage is a virtue, but if you rush in, you are in a vice. Courage on its own is a virtue, but if you go backwards and you cower back, it's a vice. Virtue and vice contemplation for me has given me the biggest breakthroughs in my life. Here's a great example. Take marriage or being single. Those two situations, neither are a vice or a virtue, but depending how you think about those two things, you may be making them an ultimate thing. It wasn't until I was single after 33 years of being married that I realized that marriage was not my identity. And I realized being single is a significant life, just like being married, but singleness is not my identity. Whether you're married or whether you're single, that is not life. Both of those are a contributor to a rewarding good life, but they're not life itself. So when you meet somebody that's dealing with estrangement, one of the 3 out of 11 of us, will you remind them that estrangement has its function and they will be protected in the storm of estrangement? Give it some time. Practice healthy expectations. Contemplate virtues. Now, before I end this talk, I would love for you just to imagine being at the ocean and sitting at the beach, and the waves of life come and they go out, and a big wave washes over you, but your unmet expectations, your shame goes back out to the water, and you find yourself grounded in the beach. Guess what? You have made it to the final stage of grief. Total acceptance, total peace. And in that spot, you remember, you know how to swim. And as the sun sets, you see her, your daughter, your mother, your father, your son. And here you embrace in the setting sun with the moon promising tomorrow. Because this hug is for past time, present time, future time, and out of time. You have made it to the final stage, and you are glad. Before I end, if you're in a situation that is violent or harmful, please seek shelter and help from authorities. Thank you.